Goal of trip: to gather insight into my current state of affairs. In retrospect, I would have been better served calling the Psychic Friends Network. General mood, ambiance. It was 1 a.m. I was on my way to bed. I had been researching DXM on the web, and figured, what the heck? Previously I had not been in the best possible mindset for the last 2 weeks. The love of my life had left me saying that I was too intense for her, and she didn't want to be consumed. It was also about a month off from the anniversary of my father's death, and a mess of other angry make events. I admit to being an adrenaline junkie, ex-NASCAR driver. But my most recent of 2 trips gave me pause to re-examine my lifestyle. I had tripped a week before, on the same stuff, with a little less quantity, fairly uneventful, and actually pretty dull. The second time I had massive attacks newest on the jukebox, and it was a cold and windy night. Not a cloud in the sky when I walked the dog around 10 p.m. I had left one window open to circulate fresh air, and so I could hear the outside world, a lucid dreaming trick I had learned at the NIH. Description: 24 years old, 180 pounds. I have a rather exotic neurological disorder. Friedreich ataxia, think Stephen Hawking, and have a 160 IQ, scored perfect on the language part of the SAT, piss poor on the math, but nobody's perfect. I had never even smoked marijuana before, and was a virgin extreme to altered states. I had just finished some Sam Adams, and was already a little woozy as I toddled off to bed. The trip. At 1 a.m., I chugged a bottle of Robitussin maximum strength, cough and cold, 354 mg dosage. Not a lot I know, 5 ml per dose, 118 ml in the bottle x 15 mg per dose. I did not gag at all. I climbed into bed, turned off the lights, and waited. Within 30 to 45 minutes I was becoming nauseous, but having had to throw back some truly disgusting substances for my neurology, I knew could keep it down. About 15 minutes later the sickness passed, and I, feeling sort of drunk, opened my eyes, to look for visual hallucinations. No such luck, so I closed my eyes, and rolled over thinking, screw this, just go to sleep. I could feel my thighs tense and relax, like a puppy in REM. I could hear the leaves rustling outside. Every car that went by outside, I felt like I was the car for a split second. Then I opened my eyes again, and found the ceiling, white, was shifting like it was liquid. This was the coolest thing I had ever seen. Big sigh. I found myself thinking about my girlfriend. I think I may have had an out-of-body experience, because I was suddenly in her bedroom in NC, while I knew my body was in NY. I was sort of swept along by my thoughts, and found myself crying over her as she slept. I kissed her on the neck, and was gone. Back to my room, I opened my eyes again, and felt a presence. It wasn't an elf, or an alien, or anything which I could make out clearly enough to identify. The shadows on the ceiling sort of came together to form a void mouth type thing. It saw that I had been crying and asked if there was anything to be done. Before I said anything else, it said she'll be back, she misses you too. Once again I cried. It then started to rain outside, right on cue, and I knew then who I had been conversing with. I didn't fear it, but I started thinking, hey, this is pretty cool, getting to meet God on your second trip. I then sort of got up, and robo-walked, very, very odd, into the bathroom for the most wonderful piss of my life. The other odd thing about my jaunt to the can was that I didn't wake up the puppy. I felt such empathy for her, as she slept. I then had a flash, and I was the dog. So bizarre, so basic, so hungry. The vet said that she was overweight, so I was cutting back on her food. I got her a biscuit, and laid it at the tip of her nose, and went back to bed. Crawling back to bed, this was odd, but I could swear that I was levitating, and just sort of slid onto the mattress. I then stayed awake until the sun came up, coming down. I had peaked at about 2:30 to 3:30 a.m., and was feeling unusually beat. I fell asleep and woke refreshed and only had a mild hangover at about 1 p.m. I massaged my thighs in a hot bath to lessen the stiffness, and sit here in my bathrobe, writing this. I have also, in reading the stories, FAQs, and information on the web, have encountered a number of strange real-world phenomena with regards to my 2 trips. The first is the dimming of streetlights in my presence. I can shut off all the lamps on Broadway, one after the next, within a 20 to 30 foot radius. As I pass by, the last one flicks back to life. The other thing worthy of note is that I think I shut off the coffee bean roaster, at my favorite local coffeehouse, until they took my order, and then blammo, back on. Really quite bizarre. The other thing that gave me pause to re-examine was after the first trip. I was sitting at a red light, but the green wouldn't turn on. From red to nothing. A sign to slow down my life now, before it's too late. One which I am heeding with great care. I don't think that this is something which I could control, but am having fun, with my thought clapper, as I walk downtown after dark and amaze the odd pedestrian with my newfound power. A group of teens asked me if I was a vampire. To which I replied, no, I've just met God. The only recommendation I would have for people interested in DXM is to of course take it slowly, and to be certain that they read and comprehend all of the warnings and contraindications before they proceed. I am so grateful to the people who have gone before and left descriptions of their experiences. I felt it only right to leave my own for the next generation of psychonauts. Good luck. PSILL let you know if God was right about my fiancé.